Hooksy Mob, what's up? Hey, I got some fun stuff today. I want to talk about Jett Reynolds. Yeah, Jett Reynolds, the amateur phenom who had just kind of a cup of coffee with Pro Circuit, but really didn't race. And I really want to get into the incident in the pits between the team owner of the Firepower Honda team. I believe his name is Yariv. Hopefully I got that right. But Yariv and Vince Friese got into a pit skirmish.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Was talking to Vince. So the way the World Supercross pits are set up, they're kind of like they're almost like cubicles. So you've got one cubicle here, one cubicle next to it. You don't enter someone else's cubicle. That's like entering their living room. You walk into their living room. Shit. In the United States, if you walk into somebody's living room threatening them, they can shoot you. They can absolutely end your life with no repercussions. What Yariv did was, he's so fortunate because he's talking to Vince and he walks over and just gets right in Vince's face. Vince has just come off the track. Tempers are hot. And Vince is not that big of a guy, but he's towering over this little guy. And he's very, very fortunate. Vince had every right within him. I was always taught, if somebody's threatening you and they get within arm's length, you hit them. That's the legal definition. If you feel threatened, you are allowed to defend yourself. Vince could have knocked him out with no repercussions. One, he entered his pit. Two, he entered his space. And I'm not trying to disparage Yariv because he is a great team owner. I have never heard anything negative about this guy. This guy loves his team, loves the sport, does amazing stuff for his riders. I've heard he's one of the nicest guys in the industry, and he's one of the good guys. I don't know him personally, but I've never heard anyone say anything disparaging about him. So while he was in the wrong, I'm going to give him a 100% pass because we all have our moments. And if there's anyone that can get you to have a moment like that, it is Vince Friese. And, it's funny too, because a lot of you guys refer to the Weston Pike incident with Vince Friese. Well, guess what? Vince can fight, guys. I don't know if you know this, but he can actually fist fight really well. I believe he knocked a guy out at Washougal one time. He is a guy who is not scared. There's not many people in this world that you walk up on and you just don't walk up on them. You walk up on these guys, you put your own health and that's you risking your ass to do that. Yariv should be incredibly fortunate that he has all of his teeth and his jaws in one piece because Vince had every right to lay him out. Now let's do this. The Weston Pike thing. You guys are like, oh, he just beat down, took it like a coward. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong on that. When you say he just cowered down and did nothing, it's because Vince is a businessman. Vince makes money racing dirt bikes. He does not make money fist fighting. Had he fought back against Weston Pike, he's disqualified. He loses his money. And like he said in that, the post-race press conference, he's there to provide for his family. If he throws punches back at Weston Pike, then he loses his ability to make money. Now, would him and Weston in a fight? That's honestly, if they put those two guys in a cage, prior to Weston's horrible injuries, if they at that time had said, all right, guys, we're going to go settle this. Let's got a cage. Vince, you're getting paid to fight Weston Pike. And they got in a cage. I promise you, Vince would get in there and hold his own, if not beat up. He might even win against Weston Pike. I don't know. Weston's a bad dude. But if you think for 1 second Vince is afraid of him, you're crazy. Vince is not afraid of Weston Pike or probably any man. That's just who he is. He's that type of guy. He's super nice. He's very soft-spoken when you talk to him. But that dude carries a big stick. So don't mistake someone being polite and nice for them being scared. Because there's a lot of things about Vince Friese. He is not scared. And I love his new bad guy persona. He's finally steered into it. And I've been asking guys to do this for the longest time. Because with Vince Friese, there's so many people who are going to despise him for the way he rides and what he does, no matter what. But when he comes out and says, oh, well, I didn't mean to, I didn't see him, and he uses all those type of things, the people who want to cheer for him and accept that type of riding, they can't get behind it. You can't get behind a guy when he says those types of things, because then you just look like a dick. But when he comes out and says exactly what he did, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you put a bunch of money on the line like we have here and put us on an arena cross track, I think that's the way it's going to go. At least for me, this is how I make a living. I'm not here to just ride around and have fun. I'm here to make some money and pay my bills. So,
you know what? He just took half of those people. Now half the people love him and half the people hate him, or vice versa. It's a close scenario there, but brilliant move. I wish more guys would accept that kind of honesty. It's good for the sport. That's what they need, because it's not going to change anything. You don't think if he went up there and lied to everybody, you still don't think Dean Wilson wants to clean his clock. Dean Wilson wants to put him on his ass no matter what he says in that press conference. There's nothing he could say in that press conference that would make Dean Wilson not owe him one. So the best thing he could have done is what he did. If I was Vince's PR manager, that's what I would say. But like I said, make no bones about it. This guy can fight. This guy can ride. This guy can block. And, these guys, the other riders know this. Why do you think nobody walks up? Everyone's like, oh, I'd beat him in the... You know what? You walk up on Vince Friese, he's just as tough off the track as he is on the track. So fair warning, guys. If you walk up on Vince Friese, you better be ready to scrap. If you need an energy drink, hit up Energy Fuel at thecoachrobstore.com. I've used this stuff. It's amazing. I'm a guy who gets arm pump and cramps quite a bit when I work out or I do long cardios. Energy Fuel cured that 100%. And I've tried every energy drink that's probably known to man or that I could get my hands on. And Energy Fuel is by far the best. So hit up Coach Rob, get some of that stuff. And if you're suffering from arm pump or weird cramps when you're riding, try it. Just try it. So, and then if you guys want to make your garage look badass, I'm telling you, there's so many little options in Epic Garage Designs. Put up some slat wall. Slat wall will get things off the floor and make your garage look so clean. Do the floor, the garage floor. It's so easy, and it hides dust and dirt like nobody's business. It will look so much cleaner. You'll look so much more professional. So, all right, guys, let's get into these other topics. So I saw that Jett Reynolds, yes, and I'm a huge fan of this kid because this could be one of the biggest comeback stories in the history of this sport. If you haven't followed Jett Reynolds, and not everybody has, a lot of the people that saw him at Loretta's, this kid had a run. He was almost guaranteed to be the next Ricky Carmichael, to be the next, at worst, Mcalister. For him to be where he's at in his career right now is a tragedy. He was the can't miss guy. At that time, if you could have signed any guy on the planet at Loretta's, and if you gave everyone at Loretta's when he was winning, if you said, okay, I can just have one guy, who's one guy that's going to make it for sure? Almost everybody said Jett Reynolds. He's a slam dunk. But unfortunately, injuries, confidence, some fatigue issues. He's had some real issues. Now, Club MX has taken a flyer. They brought him in. This is the perfect landing spot for Jett Reynolds. Don't expect him to come out and put in top fives or, really get on the map this season. It's a rebuilding process. And what I like about Club MX is Brandon and Mike, they understand this. They are the best. They're one of the best teams when it comes to mentoring and growing. And a kid like Jett Reynolds, who clearly has his confidence ripped from him, and all these guys he used to crush are the superstars in the sport now. He's got to sit back and watch that, and they'll fix him mentally. If they don't, no one ever will. But I love that Club MX has taken a flyer on him, and I'm going to be watching him very, very closely. And like I said, don't expect anything immediately. It's going to be a process to rebuild. You don't go all the way to the bottom of the barrel like Jett has and bounce right back and be a superstar. But he has that potential. That talent hasn't left him. The confidence has, and then the physical issues. Now, he had a major wrist problem and wrist issues, and we know how that affects people. I mean, look at what Adam Cincerillo's going through. There are some issues physically, but I talked to some of the guys over at Club, and they think they might have figured most of them out. But don't expect immediate results, and don't put any pressure on this kid. Watch him and cheer for him. He could be one of the best stories that this sport has seen in a long time. Guys, check out ridestrap.com. Get yourself some goggles. Get yourself a t-shirt. They are awesome. And don't forget, Ride Strapped, I randomly go through the comments and give away a strapped gift pack, which is different. It differs. They've got glasses, goggles. I usually contact you, figure out what you want, and we dial you in. Unfortunately, I apologize to all my international commenters. We can't afford to ship it out of the country. It's too much money. But if you guys are willing to pay shipping, I'll gladly do it. So all you got to do if you want to, if you're outside the country and you win, just pay the shipping and we'll send it out. But if you're in the United States, boom, we got you. So sorry about that, international viewers, but it is what it is. Precision transport. If you're shipping anything with a trucking company, and trucking companies are one of the shadiest businesses out there, don't screw around with those shady ones. Don't worry about your stuff. Don't worry about finding tracking, dealing with customer service reps who are angry. Call Precision Transport. They have not forgot about customer service, and they will dial you in. So that's it for the kind of the moto stuff right now. I want to talk a little bit about the industry. If you guys don't like the industry talk and a little bit of sidetrack topics, you could probably end it here. But I want to give a shout out to my old friend Alex Balon. I reached out to him and personally apologized to him. I went through a hard time a couple years ago. I went through a divorce. I was working at Western Power Sports, and Alex was my manager. And he owns motorcycle industry jobs. He's a great guy. He's all around the industry. And I just want all the Western Power Sports reps to know he's a good dude, man. He really is a good dude. And my beef or whatever I had with him when I left there, yeah, it was mostly me. Sometimes we go through bad times, and I thought he did some stuff that I don't think he actually did. He's actually a good guy. And like I said, I reached out to him personally, and I wanted to apologize publicly. Like I said, he owns motorcycle industry jobs. He also works at Western Power Sports. He busts his ass. He's a staple behind the scenes in the industry. Alex Balon's a good dude. So one guy that's not a good dude, so when I left Western Power Sports, I went to Tucker Power Sports, who I'd worked for 10 years prior to going to Western Power Sports. So I've been in the industry for a long, long time. And I had my old boss there. Everything was good. But there was a CEO, and you guys will know who he is. You guys remember the idiot that thought Harley-Davidson electric motorcycles were a good idea? And yeah, that was Mark Mcalister. The guy's a moron. He might be the dumbest person I've ever seen in the industry. He took a company in Tucker Power Sports that has a long history with Answer, Pro Taper. They own all those brands, or did own all those brands. He ran them into the ground. They went from, in 2020, 21, record numbers. Most business the company had ever done. They were killing it. It was post-COVID. All those companies were doing really well. He managed to dismantle and destroy this company in less than 2 years. Like, honestly, if you put me in the CEO position that he was in and said, hey, your job is to destroy this company that's killing it right now, that's doing really good, I honestly don't know if I could have done it as fast as this moron did. His ego, his ridiculous ideas. I mean, honestly, how do people in the industry keep giving morons like him another chance? It's kind of like in pro football or these sports where you see a coach that sucks, right? Their head coach. But yet he has the experience of being a head coach. So other teams say, oh, well, it just didn't quite work out there. I didn't have the players. And they try him again, and they try him again. But they suck. He is the epitome of that in the business world. Mark Mcalister. If you're with a company and he works there, just run, because he's about to blow it up. Just ask Harley and their stupid electric program, or any of the families that he's destroyed in Tucker Power Sports. A lot of people lost their jobs, myself included, and it has changed a lot about the industry. And if you guys see Pro Taper and Answer and all these, and I know 100% Goggles was a huge partner with Tucker Power Sports, and he totally hosed them. Yes, I don't want to get into the details, but he screwed them over. And I know they're in hard times right now. And I'd be willing to bet a large portion of that was because of the decisions that he made in bringing in scooters and skateboards instead of actually supplying the products that made the company what it was. The guy's an idiot. So anyway, that's it. That's my non-moto talk. And remember, subscribe if you need a real estate agent. I don't work for Tucker Power Sports anymore. I am all in on this real estate thing. I love it. I can talk about the industry people, how I honestly feel about them. Like I said, about Alex Balon, I had it wrong. That was me going through a bad time, and I might have projected a lot of that on him. And when somebody's your manager and you're going through some stuff, sometimes the relationship gets a little bumpy. It did. I bailed. It is what it is. But he's a good dude. So anyway, remember, real estate, hit me up. Buy, rent, sell anywhere in the world. If you're in the Vegas area, I will personally work with you. If you're outside of Las Vegas area, and I will just make sure you get with an agent that will help you. And I will also use my platforms. If you're selling a property, I will use my platforms to help promote that for the agent you choose. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you later.